Hi, I'm Commander Girish Konkar. I'm an ex-Indian naval officer. I was in the Indian Navy for about 22 years, and in the Navy I was a submariner.
Good evening once again. Welcome to today's very interesting and superb webinar that we have for you. Today we are going to talk about the historic Ram. So, science and software are coming together to give you a whole new story that we've not thought of, we've not heard of. Today's session, before I introduce the speaker to you, I just want to give you just a hint of what you can expect today. It's going to be a blend of science and history, astronomy and archaeology, ancient texts, and modern technology. This is all coming from a very well researched perspective, and we are going to re examine one of our oldest epics, Ramayana, as factual history through data, astronomy, and scientific reasoning. We just want to go from mythology to I don't know where this is going to take us. So let's see where it takes us. Now that you guys know what to expect, let me introduce today's speaker to you. We're truly honored to have with us Commander Girish Konkar today as our speaker. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Hi, good evening
I'm
to
just
everybody. Please continue.
Yes, sir. I'll just introduce you to everybody and then we can get started. So, for those of you who are not familiar, Commander Girish Konkar is the former Indian Navy submarine commander. He has served our country with distinction beneath the sea. And since that journey of 20 plus years, he's moved on to become a leadership and transformation coach, and now it's been 2 decades and more of doing that as well. He's shaped the leadership mindset and emotional intelligence quotient of Fortune 500 CEOs and so much more. He's also the CEO of Beyond Horizons, where he blends experiential tools like NLP and Psyche with strategic insights to help people unlock authentic and resilient leadership. I think that is the need of the hour. So, Sir works at ground zero on this. He himself is a lifelong learner and explorer, as you are going to see throughout the webinar as well. Passionate about connecting ancient Indian history, wisdom with modern science and human psychology. So, today we are going to have an amazing, amazing time. I am very sure of that. So, sir, welcome to the session.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. So, one is firstly, thank you everyone for taking the time off today on a Thursday evening, 8 o'clock. I know it's dinner time for some. I hope you had your dinner, or of course, you can continue having dinner during the webinar also, not a problem. But do stay tuned in. All right, so over to Apurva again now.
Yes, sir. So, for all of our guests today, all of our attendees today, this is going to be a Q&A session. This is going to be very interactive and very fast paced. So, I would request everybody to give us your full attention because I'm sure you don't want to miss out even a single point that sir is going to go through today. Also, we are going to have some polls in between, and so please participate in those so that we get an idea of what you are thinking, where you are with us on this journey. And finally, all your questions, please put them in the chat box. We have co-hosts in the meeting who will park them, and at the end, sir will answer your questions. So please don't worry, this is going to be very interactive and very fun. So let's get started. Sir, I want to start off the day with the first question. So, the first question I want to ask you today, we are going to talk about Lord Ram. So, how do faith, history, and curiosity come together on our topic today about Lord Ram?
Okay, so first disclaimer that I'd like to give here is that this is not about a religious text or a religious book that we are talking about. Because when you talk of religion, then what is comes is Shraddha or faith. And the moment you bring in Shraddha and faith, then questioning and critiquing and questioning simply stops. Uh, so this is not about Shraddha. We have to have an open mind. We have to be open to different questions. And whatever I'm going to present to you today is not my original research. So let me make that very clear. There are many, many pioneering researchers who've done amazing work in the last couple of years, especially last 20, 30 years, which is throwing new lights on many topics that we did not ever think about in our
Hmm.
times. So this is going to be based on that. Yeah.
Okay. So now that we know where we are heading, I would like to ask you, sir, what are our ancient texts and tradition telling us about Ramayana? And does the word itself have any meaning or no?
Okay, even before that, let
Hmm.
me go to the question of why even bother
Sure,
about
sir.
studying Ramayana, or is Ramayana history, or is it a myth? Because we've all been probably taught about. So I'm sure all of you have heard about Kanoji Angre. He was the Maratha Sarkhel, one of the first admirals that we know of the Indian Navy, the Indian subcontinent. Of course, they would have been earlier. But do you know that about a couple of years ago, I think just 3, 4 years ago, Wikipedia had put him as a pirate. Now,
Hmm.
by no stretch of our imagination was Kanoji Angre a pirate. As far as the Britishers were concerned, yes, because he would maraud their ships, he would maraud their fleets, decimate them, and he was the king of the sea as far as the Maratha Navy was concerned. But they considered him as a pirate, and that's what became the world history in Wikipedia. Who's Kanoji Angre? A pirate of the Colabas, a pirate of the west coast of India. No, he was our admiral. He was a great admiral of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj,
Yes,
and
sir.
so has been the entire Western narrative. There are things like all of you have grown up with something called as Aryan invasion theory, a
Hmm.
complete bogus, 100% fake, right? But we many of us have been grown up with that, saying Aryan invasion theory, and when
Hmm.
they realize okay, this AIT, the business is not going to work, they realize that it's a fake theory. They come up with something called as the Aryan migration theory. Again,
Okay.
complete bogus,
Hmm.
complete. So I'll not go into the depth of it. We can have a full session on that if required.
Hmm.
But so the Western narrative is one which always tries to put us down, saying, no, no, you
Yes.
guys are savages. Who invented the zero? It was the Indians. We
Hmm.
invented the zero. It was called as the Hindu numerals. There are no Arabic numerals. They are
Hmm.
Hindu numerals. And there is enough evidence to tell you that the zero was invented right from Aryabhatta time, and which was later given into the complete what is zero, meaning it's a full number and not just a placeholder, was
Hmm.
given by Brahmagupta. And there's enough evidence to that. And another thing that has come up, we heard of Silk Route.
Yes,
Never
sir.
existed. But we've grown up with that saying Silk Route, Silk Route, Silk Route. Again, I would request the people here to go on the YouTube again after this and look at William Dalrymple's amazing research. His
Hmm.
book also is there, and which tells you systematically why there was no such thing as a Silk Route.
Hmm.
If any route existed, it was from India, which was a maritime route.
Right.
Many of us have heard that Winston Churchill, was a great hero who won the Second World War for the Britishers. Hey, he was also a cutthroat guy, a very evil guy. Because of him, the Bengal famine happened in India, where
Hmm.
some 3 million people died in Bengal. Is that a hero? And I'm
Hmm.
not going to the details of it, but all these things, and therefore all the Western narratives, they paint our epics, our Sanatan literature, our history as mythology,
Hmm.
as myth, as poems, and not history.
Right.
And therefore, it is very important that we reclaim our history. Right now, let's get back to the Q&A again, please.
Sure. So is this the reason that has pushed you in this direction?
Yes, exactly. So now
Hmm.
we do get enough time to do a lot of research to study, and it always intrigued me. But I've been doing lots of treks in the Sahyadris,
Yes.
lots of treks. I mean, since my eighth standard, that was from 1974, I've been
Hmm.
trekking, and Maharashtra has got again something aside. In the world, there are some about 2,000 forts, castles. Out of
Hmm.
those 2,000, some 1,000 forts are in India itself, and out of those, 750 forts, if I'm not mistaken. And in Maharashtra alone, there are 325 forts.
Hmm.
And some of them are gigantic forts. They're mind boggling forts. So I used to visit these forts and also wonder. And
Hmm.
everyone talks of Shivaji's forts, Shivaji's forts. Shivaji built a handful of forts.
Hmm.
These forts have been in existence for time immemorial. We went to
Hmm.
a place called Durga Bhandar, and I don't have dating history for it, but that must have been a couple of thousand years old, before
Wow.
Satwan time. Or no, it's so ancient, but we
Hmm.
have zero knowledge about it. That's
Okay.
got me intrigued, and then many things led to it. And there are many great pioneering researchers who are there, who have
Hmm.
done amazing research. Like one of the foremost one which I'll be talking about is Dr. Nilesh Oak,
Hmm.
who's done amazing research on dating the Ramayana and multidisciplinary approaches he's got. So it's amazing. There is Dr. Raj Vedam, there is Yajna Vedam, Srikant Telegiri, Dr. Vasan Shinde, Jujit Nadumuri Ravi, there is Rupa Bhati. So a number of that who have done amazing research, which I got introduced to in the last, I would say, 2 3 years. So it's a
Right.
very, but I said, there's so much of a world out there.
Hmm.
We need to look at it. That's how I
So
got into the whole thing.
I think on this note, I would request our team members that it's time to get our first poll question live so that we also get an idea of how much everybody is as intrigued as us as we move forward. I would request all our attendees to please answer it. We have many more interesting questions coming up. And in the meanwhile, sir, I would like to ask you, we spoke about starting off this journey, and you spoke about Sanatan Dharma or the Sanatan text, basically. So, can you give us a basic foundation, a layperson foundation of where we should start this off from?
Yeah, interesting. I think let's wait for the poll to finish. Like
Sure.
maximum people to focus on the poll, give their answers,
Hmm.
and let us see if everybody is able to give their answers.
Hmm.
Right. So we have got all the answers. So yeah. So it's important to know our history or itias. I think everybody says 100% answer is yes. Can you show them
Right.
the answers? What is it?
Sure,
How is
sir.
it?
Yes, I think if we could publish the poll, the participants can be able to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So practically everybody has said okay, great. So we got 100% response to that. All right. Now
Right.
let's go to the question.
Yes.
Saying once again, repeat your question, please.
Yes. So we started off talking about the importance of our history and our culture. So Sanatan texts play a very important role in the same, topic. So what is the foundation where we are starting off this journey from?
Okay. We Ramayana comes much later. So
Hmm.
Sanatan literature, when you start, the first basic thing, foundational thing is the Vedas. So we
Hmm.
have the four Vedas, and they are called as Shruti, which
Hmm.
means something that has been revealed.
Hmm.
So we don't know who wrote the Vedas. It has
Hmm.
been revealed to the rishis, the rishi munis,
Hmm.
and they downloaded it from, we don't know from where or whatever it is. So
Hmm.
that you have the four Vedas, the Rig Ved, there is the Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, Atharva Ved. So all these Vedas were there, and the Vedas also have something called as, they again have something called as what do you, the Brahmanas, the Samhitas. Therefore, the Aranyakas, like that. So they're subtext to the Vedas. So where the Vedas are purely ritualistic, religious, you can say ritualistic compilations,
Okay.
the explanation gets transcribed into the various Samhitas, Aranyakas, the which is now you are interpreting the Vedas.
Hmm.
So that starts off. So they are called as the how-to guidebooks. You
Hmm.
might call it that, right?
Hmm.
So the guidebooks are there, which have got the Brahmanas, Aranyakas. There is the Vedangas. There's Upanishads. There is Puranas. So there's a huge amount of literature. Trust me, no other civilization or country or religion in the world has got so much ancient literature.
Hmm.
None.
Hmm.
We have it with us. So I will not go into the details of all these things. So we have, of course, the four Vedas, then there is Valmiki. One of them later on becomes a Valmiki Ramayana. Valmiki Ramayana and the Mahabharata becomes a part of what is called as the Itihas.
Okay.
Iti, her, has. That means
Hmm.
this is the way it happened. So
Hmm.
it's a narrative allegory form of description of
Hmm.
events that took place in a particular time frame,
Hmm.
and that's what we're going to decode here.
Hmm.
When is it possible that this could have been done?
Hmm.
Right? So from
Hmm.
this massive literature, and I'll
Hmm.
not go to it is literally, it'll take me an hour to describe all the literature that is there, but just the Vedas, Shruti, and then the Smriti
Hmm.
and the descriptions.
Hmm.
Various parts are there. There is, okay, I'll not go into the depth of it.
Sure,
There's
sir.
enough.
So, going towards the Ramayana, what does Ramayana actually mean?
Ramayana is simply, okay, all of us would know what is called as Dakshinayan and Uttarayan.
Yes.
Okay, Dakshinayan is the southern journey of the sun. That means after on 21st of June, the
Hmm.
sun starts its southern journey and starts going to the south, and then
Hmm.
at some stage it starts coming towards the north again. So the between of what is the tropic of Cancer and the tropic of Capricorn, right? So the journey is called as either Dakshinayan or Uttarayan.
Hmm.
So Ayan means journey.
Hmm.
Now Ramayan, Rama's journey. Simple.
Okay. I think this is a light bulb moment for me, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of our attendees as well. So,
Yes.
sir, like you said, the Valmiki Ramayana happens to be the base for all the narrations that have come later or afterwards also. So, what makes the Valmiki Ramayana so authentic?
Yeah, there are many Ramayans. There are at least I think about 300 or Ramayans that are there. There is people would have known of something called as Tulsi Ramayan. There's Kamba Ramayan. There are many of them.
Hmm.
The the original Ramayan is the Valmiki Ramayan.
Okay.
Nothing comes before that. So
Hmm.
if anybody is interested in studying the Ramayan,
Hmm.
if whether it's original or later on, the starting point has to be Valmiki Ramayan.
Okay.
Everything else, you got layers onto it. That is
Hmm.
not the original one.
Hmm.
So you can have poetic versions coming into it. You have different battle scenes, different. It can have a lot of things, but Valmiki Ramayana is the starting point.
So, looking at this source material, and I'm pretty sure that's also your source material for the research you've done. So, what is special about the Valmiki Ramayana?
Okay, like I said, I'm not the original researcher. I'm not
Okay.
personally read the Valmiki Ramayana. That's in Sanskrit. I'm
Hmm.
not a Sanskrit Pandit, nor can I claim anything on Sanskrit. So it's a many people have done that original research, and I am only collating it to make it understandable to all of us.
Yes, sir.
So Valmiki Ramayan's main thing is it is in a story form,
Hmm.
given in multiple. But it's an interesting story,
Hmm.
and as we unfold it, we'll realize how the story unfolds in Valmiki Ramayana itself.
Okay.
It is told by Love Kush to Valmiki, and then he writes it.
Hmm.
When it was written, so the thing is, the best part of Alvin is there are a number of references given in that which today
Hmm.
hold good also. And we'll
Oh.
see as we go along what
Hmm.
are these references. Yeah.
Sure. So, sir, I'm going to get directly to the point. Now, I'm going to ask you the key question here. Was Lord Ram a historical figure or a mythological figure?
If those who say it's a historical, fantastic, we're already on the same page. But those who say no,
Hmm.
if by the end of this webinar, if you can at least get, okay, if a thought comes, okay, it might be real. Even
Hmm.
if you get that question mark in you, na, I think that serves the purpose. Right? Okay, because
Hmm.
when you talk of this question that you ask, is it historical?
Hmm.
There are many things which definitely are historical. Some of it is embellishments. Some of it
Hmm.
we have no clue.
Hmm.
Did it exist?
Hmm.
Did it not exist? Can you show me the proof?
Hmm.
Uh, for many, there is proof. For many, there is zero proof.
Hmm.
In fact, I would request all of you to think of all these, right from name me any figures which are in the past 2000, 3000 years.
Hmm.
The names which could come up is one is you can say Alexander. You could have things like the Greek historian Socrates. You could have even Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
You could have Gautam Buddha. You could have Jainism. You could
Hmm.
have many such so-called inverted commas historical figure. Is there any proof of anyone?
Hmm.
Zero.
Hmm.
There is zero proof that Jesus existed. There is zero proof that Alexander was actually there. There are many, many references, yes, that okay, somebody like that was there, but can you show me a proof? No. On the other hand, there is ample proof for both Mahabharat and Ramayana that this possibly existed. Enough evidences. So if you put all of these in one basket and just Ramayana and Mahabharata in one basket, the Ramayana basket will be very heavy and zero in the other basket. That's how much proof we have regarding Ramayana. Now, many historians have tried to figure it out. There are more than 130 historians who've been trying to figure out, did Ram exist? Can we date Ram? And it's a giant jigsaw puzzle that has to be really solved. So, when it starts off from about 150 years ago, right from is it just pure mythology to just an epic poem? Is it historical? Now, only there are four known historians who actually tried to really date. Did Ram exist? I mean, was it? Can we come to a date? And one of the first name that comes is Mr. M.R. Yadi, who gave a date of 1500 BCE. That was the first date. Then came Dr. Pushkar Bhatnagar, who gave the date as 5100 BCE. Then there's Dr. P. Vartak, who came to a date of about 7300 BCE. And then there is Dr. S.P. Sabaratnam, Ramadurai, and Sundaram, who gave the date, pushed it back to 10,500 BCE. And now the most recent is Dr. Nilesh Oak, who gives a very specific dates of 12,209 BCE. So it's been a journey trying to get it, and today it's very fascinating that he's come up with this journey, with this date, specific date. So how many of you know the date of Ramayana? Okay, you continue. Of course, there are many critiques. Yeah, please go ahead.
So sir, you just spoke about a lot of proofs that are there in those direction, and you've also given us the names of all of these researchers who've put their blood, sweat, and tears over the years in this direction. So, what type of textual or archaeological proofs are we speaking about when it comes to the dating of the Ramayana?
So, first is we say what is the archaeological proof? Now, what is archaeology? Is one question that comes to mind. What we generally know of archaeology is what I would typically it's called as dirt archaeology. That means you dig the earth and you find some stones, you find some pottery, you find some ancient artifacts, you find some primitive tools, and with that they try to find out when it has happened, etc. But when you actually start to study archaeology, there are different disciplines. You have what is called as paleontology, you have genetics, you have soil, they date the soil, there is carbon dating, there is the sea level, there is sedimentology, there is so that is what there is, and one of them is called as astroarchaeonomy. Now, these texts, Ramayana and Mahabharata, are filled with what is called as astronomical data. There are in Ramayana there are some 600 astronomical reference points. That means the stars. Now, let's say, for example, just to tell you, let's say, how do you know you are in a specific point in Pune? That means you look around and you say, okay, on this side I can see there is so and so hill. On this side I can see there is Siagat. On this side I can see the Mula River, and therefore I am at so and so. I am at Deccan Gymkhana on Lakdi Pul Bridge. I mean, something like that. So you get what is called as triangulation from reference points.
Okay.
But there are also reference points in the sky. There are millions of stars which are fixed. Now, whenever you look up, you will find some stars are fixed. There is something that moves. The sun moves. The moon moves. The planets move. Stars seem to be static. At the same time, with respect to time, they move. That means in the day or the night, the stars move. They might just change their specific position relative to each other, but the sun changes its position relative to everything. The moon changes its position. The planets change. The stars don't change their position relative to each other.
Okay.
Now, if I observe them, where is today? Where is the sun? Where is the moon? Where is Jupiter? Where is Mars? Where is Pluto? No, Pluto is not seen. Sorry. Where is Venus? And where are the other stars? I can tell you exactly where you are today.
Hmm.
Now, if I observe this phenomena maybe 1,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, and I tell you at that time, the
Hmm.
sun is here,
Hmm.
the moon is here, Venus is here, uh, the nakshatra is so and so, which will come to a little
Right.
later on.
Right.
Hey, I can tell you exactly what date it is. And
Wow.
that is the beauty of both Mahabharata and Ramayana. Because in Ramayana, there are close to 600 such references, which are observed references saying at that time, what does the sky look like?
Hmm.
In Mahabharata, there are, I think, some 300, such 325 references, which
Hmm.
tells you what does the sky look like.
Hmm.
If you can decode that, you can pinpoint the exact date.
Wow. So, I think this is my moment to ask our attendees, do we know we celebrate Ram Navami, but do we know the exact date when Lord Ram was born? Does anybody have any idea of when Lord Ram was born? If you know a date, please put it in our comments. So we will also cross check. Sir, do we have a date, or should we give them a couple of minutes to try their luck on
Are
this?
you putting up a poll for this? Do they know the date? Or what is it? I mean, are they putting up? We just wait if they're going to answer in the poll, if they're going to answer in the chat, if
I
they know
thought
what
they
the
could
date
just
is.
give us a date in the chat because those dates could be different.
Yeah, so we just wait a minute or two if people can put in. If you know the date, when was if you know the current date,
So,
when is Ram Navami?
yeah, so
Simple
we had
question.
89% people who do believe Lord Ram is an historical figure. So I'm sure they have a date. Please give us a date if you know that.
Yeah, and whether historical or no, we celebrate Ram Navami every year.
Yes.
So whether you believe it or not, you should know what Ram Navami is. I've given you this thing straight away saying Ram. But when is Ram Navami?
Hmm.
Anybody can anybody can put
Hmm.
that, please? Yeah, anyone? No?
Uh, is the chat enabled for everybody?
Just check. Is the chat enabled?
I am just putting a message to check it. Okay. Yes. Yes. The
Okay.
chat is enabled.
Yes. When is Ram Navami? The question is when is, we know that Ram was born on Ram Navami. That is plain and simple. We celebrate every year, so that's a no-brainer, right?
We have
So
one answer that says November. Okay. If we everybody has 11 more months to try.
I can see some hands are raised. So I don't know why the hands are raised. I mean, is the chat not open?
The chat is
Chat
open.
is disabled. Manisha is saying chat is disabled. Just check.
I'm
Chat is
requesting my
disabled.
team members to just check if the chat is disabled.
Okay, let's go ahead anyway. So
Chat is enabled.
chat is enabled. Okay, please, everyone, you quickly type in if you know the date.
Yes, because we had a lot of people who had raised their hands.
Yeah, quickly if you can just type it. No, it is saying disabled. Manisha
Okay.
is saying disabled. So anyway, let's go ahead.
Hmm. Sure.
Otherwise, we can sort out later on. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yes.
So sometimes it is in March. Sometimes so generally it is. So it is a
Hmm.
fact that all of us celebrate Ram Navami on. It is Chaitra Shuddha
Hmm.
Navami.
Hmm.
What we don't know it which year.
Hmm.
Now, Dr. Nilesh Oak, with his amazing pioneering research, has
Hmm.
come up with the date of 29th of November 12,240 BCE. Isn't that
Yes, sir.
amazing, guys?
I
A
think we have.
specific date. Yeah, now many people are answering. Fair enough. Good, good,
Yes,
good.
sir. Yes,
Chaitra
sir. Sorry,
Navami,
sorry
correct.
to
So
interrupt him.
Chaitra Shuddha Navami. Chaitra Shuddha Navami, that is correct. So Chaitra is the Hindu Panchanga month, Sanatan Panchanga month. Shuddha means the moon has got two phases. When you start the month from Amavasya and it's going towards Purnima, that is called as Shuddha. And when it goes from Purnima to Amavasya, that is again 15 days, 14 days, that becomes the dark phase. So Shuddha means it is an ascending moon and the ninth day. As simple as that. But definitely, we do not know the year, but which Dr. Nilesh Oak, with real amazing 30 years of painstaking research, has come up with the data. 29 November 12,240 BCE, 14,000 years ago. And we will decode that as we go ahead. How did he come up with such an accurate date? Yes.
So, sir, based on this, now that you've come up with a date, I would also like to ask you that why has it been so difficult for people to prove Ram's historicity, especially in academic circles?
Uh, the reason that is, see, our history was initially really started off in 1920 when Mohenjo-daro was discovered.
Mm-hmm.
When the Britishers came, they said, "You guys are primitive people. You guys have no history. We are the kings. We are the ones. Christianity and the whole world started with the biblical floods, and that was the start point of that was the Christian era, and that's it. So you guys are all savages." That was the whole narrative that started off. Max Muller and party came in, and uh, they realized, okay, there is some similarity between the Sanskrit language, and they tried to decode it, but they said, no, it is we who gave you the Sanskrit language, and that's the Aryan invasion theory got formulated. 1920, Mohenjo-daro was discovered and Harappa was discovered, and they realized, okay, this seems to be a much more older civilization than what we had told them at 1000 BC and all that stuff. And they dated it to roughly about 1500 BC, saying Mohenjo-daro was 1500. So Indian continent, your civilization started 1500 BC, but hey, we are much older. We are the Greeks, the Romans, and the Christianity era, and the Roman civilization is 2500 years BCE and all that stuff. And all that it went on to that the Greek civilization. And therefore, you guys are just recent. All this is just stories. That's how the whole thing was. Then slowly, as more research started getting done on that, the dates started getting pushed back and back and back. And then they came up to say, okay, it seems to be at least 2500 BCE is the Mohenjo-daro. And then we have these references of the Saraswati River. It was again taught to us in school. I remember in school it was called as a mythological river Saraswati.
Yes.
Hey, quick check. It was not matter, it is history. And when ISRO sent up its satellites and two satellites and what is called as paleontological channels and various ground level research that they did, they realized that actually a river called Saraswati existed, and it existed at least minimum 20, 30,000, 50,000 years ago. The river died down completely about 3,000 years ago, 3,000 BC. That means 5,000 years ago, the river completely vanished. But Ramayana and Mahabharata mention Saraswati. In Ramayana, it's a big river. In Mahabharata, it's still a small river. It's not a big river as it was. And in the Rig Veda, it is mentioned as the greatest of greatest rivers. That is a massive river. And that they actually found it. So that pushes back our entire antiquity of our civilization much, much, much millennia. If Rig Veda is mentioning Saraswati as the grandest of all rivers, as the biggest of all rivers, it's the widest of all rivers, he's not faking it.
Right.
It actually exists. That means there's some historical memory, some social memory there. Whoever wrote the Vedas, whatever was the Vedas written, or when in Ramayana it become a little bit smaller as compared to the Rig Veda. That means Rig Veda, there's a lady called Rupa Bhati who has literally pushed back the entire dating of Rig Veda to almost 25,000 years ago with all the references given. So everything starts to go back with Saraswati River, and so our entire heritage culture has got huge scientific basis. You have metallurgy, which is the iron pillars, the bauxite, etc., which was never heard of in the Western world. There is chemistry, zinc distillation, bauxite extraction. It is not easy to extract zinc. You need great scientific knowledge to extract zinc. It was done here in us. Medicine, mathematics, Aryabhatta, discovery of the zero, advanced complex astronomy. There is something called as Surya Siddhanta. So the various Siddhantas, one of the Surya Siddhanta is the Bible for astronomical calculations. It has got things like, and it goes back to 21,000 BCE. That's how it gives you calculus. It gives you sine, cos, cotangent. It gives you various spherical trigonometry. which the West discovered maybe 300-400 years ago.
Hmm.
It is there, everything is there in the Surya Siddhanta. We was just never taught us. Nobody even told us that it is there. So there is
Right.
enough tremendous scientific evidence, but little scientific documentation. Yes, a lot of it was lost.
Hmm.
Some of it is remaining. Yes, and from that we are able to extract a lot of it. In as a result, in our school textbooks, we only have passing references. Yo, this must happen, and that becomes affects our historical pride, our national psyche. All that gets impacted with so many things.
Hmm.
Now, if it was a fantastic story with so many scientific things, was there also, could it be a figment of imagination?
Hmm.
A fertile mind, a lot of mirch masalas could be there added into the stories.
Hmm.
It's, yes, there could be. We don't know. For
Hmm.
example, you have mentions of planes and vimanas.
Hmm.
Do we have proof of vimanas? Obviously, no. But do you have even proof? Let's say, okay, we've heard of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, that
Yes.
there is that he was gifted the Bhavani sword by
The
goddess
goddess.
Bhavani itself.
Yeah.
Is there any proof of that? If you ask Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj or his distinct when the sword is seen, he says, "I bought it from the Portuguese."
Hmm.
There is no proof.
Hmm.
There is very little proof of Shivaji Maharaj also existing. Little. There are lots of references. There are lots of books. There are lots of texts. But do you have the, let's say, this is the dress worn by Shivaji Maharaj only
Hmm.
300 years ago? No.
Hmm.
This is the sandals that Shivaji Maharaj wore? No.
Hmm.
This is the horse that Shivaji Maharaj rode and these are his bones? No.
Hmm.
So like that, there are lots of things. So did rockets and missiles exist? There is references of high energy thermonuclear explosives, but there is
Hmm.
no mention of gunpowder. People seem to have had fantastic magical powers, seemingly infinite physical, mental, emotional energy and power. So it does create inconsistencies.
Hmm.
Does it mean the entire thing was false? I would say the answer is no.
No.
It is not that the entire thing is false. There could be a lot of things there, but there is a lot of good in it, a lot of truth in it, a lot of science in it. Let us at least see that. So let us have an open mind to say, okay, it possibly seems to have existed. At least let's agree on that. No,
Yes.
everything is not that. So no, what it definitely lacks is does not have any archaeological digs. There are no cities. But hey, most of the cities which are mentioned in Ramayana and Mahabharata actually exist.
Till
But
date.
there are no ruins till date. Yes. There are no photographs or sculptures or paintings. There is no
Hmm.
weapons or equipment or clothes. I mean, why go so date back? 300 years ago, the Battle of Panipat took place.
Yes.
There were three battles of Panipat which took place.
Hmm.
The Marathas and Ahmad Shah Abdali fought. They were. It is well recorded in history, in texts, in various references at that time that something like a close to 1.5 lakh people the Marathas had taken theirs. Abdali had come with it, and 1.5 lakh people, uh, or a huge number, 1 lakh people or something like that, died in that battle of Panipat. That means there must have been 1 lakh weapons there. That means there must have been 1 lakh swords and sort of spears and bows and arrows there.
Hmm.
Are any one of them existing? None. We don't have a, okay, go here are 1 lakh weapons which are used by the Marathas in just 300 years ago. How can we then prove something that existed 14,000 years ago? Very difficult. It's not easy. But there are
Hmm.
many things which come, which are there. So, carbon dating, and
Hmm.
they can do carbon dating. The most latest one is something called as AMS, or accelerator mass spectrometry. And as a result, it has become, it has pushed back our civilization.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we are going back now.
Yes, sir.
Hindus,
So
in Indian civilization is going back and back and back.
sure, sir. So I think we now have a very beautiful premise set up. Could we start off on the journey of Ramayana and, a little bit of a background, and then we can directly go into the specifics and the nuances of it? So you're on mute.
So let's understand firstly the Indian civilization has been pushed back, and the
Hmm.
worst, the latest one, which is Birana.
Hmm.
Birana is a bigger civilization city than Mohenjo-daro and Harappa.
Hmm.
It's in Haryana, I think some 120 kilometers north of Delhi. It's a huge thing, which is now dated to something like 7,350 BCE by these techniques called as AMS. So it's from original 1200 years ago, 1200 BCE, Mohenjo-daro, we already come to 7,350 BCE, can go longer. All right, let's come now to hardcore Ramayana. Okay, it is what is called as the Adi Kavya, the first poem. Whether it's a history or pure literary work, we will decode, but it's got 24,000 verses, 24,000 slokas, which are very systematically put into 7 kandas. Kandas or books. Okay, they're big books. So 7,000, and the various kanda that there is, one is called Bal Kanda, Ayodhya Kand, Aranya Kand, Kishkinda Kand, Sundara Kand, Yuddha Kand, and there's the Uttara Kand. So these are all different uh, chapters in it are given that in this entire book that is there. The storyline, interestingly, if you look at the storyline of the Ramayana, is in 2 distinct styles. Now, some people do give us saying because there are 2 distinct styles, that means there are 2 different people written at different times. I don't know, but there are some things which are commonalities. So first, so we all know that the Ram exile was 14 years. Right?
Yes.
Now, the first 12 years of the exile, okay, 12 years, okay, is covered in 3 books. Out of the 7 books, 3 books cover 12 years. So look at and last 2 years is covered in 4 books. But there are many differences over here. The first 12 years are very crisp, to the point, summarized. It is, the whole thing is in very realistic human scale. It's called lived space. There are detailed, at the same time, detailed geographical details of towns, palaces, hermitages, rivers, roads. What is the social life like? What are the local traditions, the culture, and very easy to map even today. The flora and fauna, what is the daily aesthetic life? Everything is mentioned in just 3 books. And then, when the Sita Aparan takes place, the story undergoes a massive change. And that 2 years is covered in 4 books, which is of 15,000 slokas. So, original 24,000 slokas, 9,000 slokas is the 12 years, 15,000 sloks for just 2 years. It now becomes very poetic.
Okay.
And in the poetry, there is detailed battle scenes that are given. It moves to theatrical and mythic spaces. There's a change of scale. At the same time, it becomes very fast-paced, elaborate, larger than life. There are multi-storied palaces of Ravana's Lanka, gilded Lanka. The topology is fantastic, very symbolic, very mythical, militarized, intensifies the ethical conflict, and it's a cosmic scale intervention that takes place in this. So that is how the books go.
Okay. So, sir, now we have the idea of the storyline. We know the kind of weightage given by the author, the poet himself, Valmiki, Rishi Valmiki. So, what I would like to know, sir, that we've been speaking a lot about how astronomy has played a role and how it has helped in dating. So, could you just help us understand how have science, stars, and software helped us uncover the real timeline of Ramayana?
Okay, that's a very interesting, and that's the crux of it. But before that, let me take you one more step backward. Let us see what
Sure.
dates these. Before we see how these dates are revealed, let us see what are these dates and how was this initial journey and travel with Vishnu. I'll just quickly flash through. Let me see if I can get I can share the. Uh, is it possible to share? Or is it?
Yes, I think you've started screen sharing.
Are you able to see my screen as the slideshow?
Yes.
Okay, one second. What's happened here? Okay, are you seeing a slideshow? Journey of Lord Ram, initial years and trials with Vishwamitra. Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So just for the people who are watching this now, you can see from here, you can see Koshala is Ayodhya. That is the where Ram is born. And in the initial stages, you would have known the story that Vishwamitra comes and takes Ram on a journey. They go to a place called Rajgir, then something called as Ahilya Stan. There's a whole story of Ahilya, and he goes to Videha. So Ram's birth of Ram is Punarvasu is a nakshatra, 29 November 12,240 BCE. Bharata is born in the Pushya nakshatra, Lakshman Shatrughna. So the Putra Kameshi Yajna, which Dashrath undertook, was happened sometime in December and January of
Hmm.
12,241 BCE. Now, after that, Ram starts to grow up, and in 12,000, key events that happened in 12,224 BCE. That means from 40 you come to 60, almost 16 years of age, roughly. And Vishwamitra comes, and there's a whole story that he takes Ram and Lakshman. They go to Rajgir, they go to Ahilya Stan, they come to Videha, Mithila, that is Janakpur. And there the Sita Swayamvar takes place, and the Sita Ram and Sita marriage takes place on 5th of January 12,223 BCE. Ram's age that time was 17 years. Now, this is so specifically we are able to date it. And then comes a very interesting thing that happens here is uh, on 20th of December 12,223 BCE, Dashrath declares Ram as his heir,
Hmm.
and says, I want to coronate him tomorrow.
Hmm.
Now, at the time of this declaration, that he says, Bharat and Shatrughna were at a place called Kekeya. Kekeya is Kaikeyi's maternal place, her Maika.
Right.
They're there. Now, here are two princes away from the capital, away from the city. They are gone for something to Kekeya, and you declare that I want to coronate Ram tomorrow. There must have been something major going on at that time. That's all I can say. We don't know what, but
Hmm.
something major happened, and then we know that the palace intrigue between Kaikeyi and Manthra takes place, and Ram is now sent off on exile. Ram takes the exile for 14 years. Bharat Shatrughna have no clue that this has happened back at home.
Hmm.
Then there was uh, the council of elders get together saying no, they must be told that. So messengers are sent to Kaikaya to get back, and it's all given in the Valmiki Ramayana saying how long it takes for the message to go, how long did they take to come back. All that is given,
Hmm.
and Bharat and Shatrughna come back to Ayodhya. In the meanwhile, Dashrath has died. Okay, so Dashrath passes away, and then from here, from Koishala, from Ram's exile has happened on 20th, 21st December 12,223 BC.
Okay.
So he comes to a place called Prayagraj, where Bharadwaj Rishi's ashram is there. He
Hmm.
comes there,
Hmm.
and from there he goes, crosses the Yamuna at a place called Shringverpur, crosses the Yamuna, and goes to Chitrakut. Now he's in Chitrakut. Bharat comes to Ayodhya, learns that. So they tell him, look, he's gone on exile. You are the king now, so you take on the coronation. Bharat refuses and comes to Chitrakoot. He first comes to Prayagraj. Bharadwaj Rishi tells him Ram has gone south. He comes to Chitrakoot. And that is when Ram comes to know that his father, Dashrath, has passed away. So they do his Anteshti there. They do this rituals at Chitrakoot, and Ram says, "I'm not going to come back. You go." And so Bharat cannot convince Ram. He comes back, and Bharat does not enter Ayodhya after that. He stays at a place called Nandigram, which is 14 kilometers south of Ayodhya, and stays there till Ram comes back from exile after 14 years.
Okay.
Then Ram goes to what is called as the Dandakaranya, and he's now this whole journey is taken almost okay. Now this is come off in a complete sync, but let's go one by one. So exile happens on 21st December to then Chitrakoot stays for 3 months. Then he goes to Dandakaranya. He's there for 10 years and 5 months. That means in September 12,212 BCE,
Hmm.
Ram stays in Dandakaranya. They're called the Ashram Mandala of Rishis. And from there, he goes to Panchavati near Nashik, and he stays
Yes.
in Panchavati for 8 months. So July 12,211, he's there in BCE. He's in. Then we all know of Surpanakha, Khara Yuddha. Sita gets abducted. So abduction happened somewhere in May to July 12,210 BCE. Now,
Okay.
till here, this point, very detailed description of the places. You can identify practically each and every place, almost every place, not all, but almost all, right? And
Okay.
then the southern, when it starts, when they go to, what do you say, uh, Sugriv, in search of Hanuman and Sugriv, and Vali Vad happens on 21st September 12,210 BCE. And then there are four parties which are made. Hanuman, Angad, and Tara, they start going south and they come to the Mahendagiri range. And then south of this, so this is not Lanka as we know. Okay, this is absolutely false that this is Lanka. There is enough proof to say there was no such thing as Lanka which existed. Lanka never existed here. It is
Oh.
roughly about 800 miles south
Hmm.
of the Mahendagiri range. And there
Okay.
are enough references given in Ramayana to so it is on equator on 0 degrees longitude, which is the meridian south of Ujjain. That is where the exact pinpoint of Lanka is. Today, there is nothing there. It's all gone underwater.
Hmm.
And the war, the 14-day war happened from 24th December 12,209 to 7th January 12,208 BCE. So it was a 14 days war that happened.
Okay.
Now, interestingly, while the whole thing took 11 to almost 14 years, the war happened on 8th of January 12,208. Vibhishan is coronated. And on 9th, the journey starts back by Pushpak Viman.
Hmm.
So there's the references of Viman. So instantly, on 10th and 11th Jan, they go to Kishkinda. They have a big ceremony. Thank you for the entire Vanar army for their help that they gave, etc. And then they take the plane and they arrive on 12th of January. They come to Bharadwaj Ashram at the where the confluence of Yamuna and Ganga takes place.
Hmm.
Then Bharat comes over there, and 13th of January 12,208 BCE, the coronation takes place. That's
Oh.
an amazing journey. And let us see now how this thing, which the question that you asked, when did Ramayana happen? How did it? The game changer. How could such specific dates be given? The answer to that is what is called as astronomical evidences.
Hmm.
And like I said, there are almost 600 celestial observations that are there, which are given in the Ramayana, which tells you the predictions given in Ramayana about the astronomical conditions that were existing over there,
Okay.
which gives us this amazing storyline how it happened. So
Incredible.
now
I
we
think
come to that. Yeah, there you go on. Please go ahead.
I think we've reached a very interesting part. And so, sir, now that we have such precise dates, I don't think I have, after listening to the Ramayana since growing up, I have ever seen anybody give me so many precise dates as to when what happened and the entire journey of the exile as well. So, that is really mind boggling. For me, in my mind, even Dashrath passing away, Maharaj Dashrath passing away, and Lord Ram finding about it is an immediate event because that's the way the story is narrated. So I didn't know that, there's a time space of almost 3 months till his last rites are done. So these are very interesting points.
So
Now,
one second, before you go ahead, Apro, there's some questions here. We said, did Chaitra month fall in November, 14,000 years
yes, sir.
back? Uh, okay, then it says Chaitra month falls in March, April. How it has been given date in the month of November? We actually celebrate twice Ram Navami, once just before Dashera and one in the month of Great. So thank you. We will now exactly tackle how did this date shift from currently we see in March, April
Hmm.
to November. Stay tuned. All right, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I would like to know about these celestial evidences that you spoke of, and what role are they playing in the dating of the Ramayana?
All right, so I'm not going to go into the specific Sanskrit verses because none of us can really understand so detailed. But we'll tell you what is the inferences drawn from
Hmm.
these so many verses that are there.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, one question is says Ramayana is dated around 1240, Mahabharat 3400 BCE, but Ramayana is stated as part of Mahabharat. How come? Okay, I can tackle this later on. All right. So let's come back to how does this astronomical references? Very simple to understand. I'll try and make it as simple as possible. So all of us have heard of something called as a Gregorian calendar. That is the calendar we currently follow. The April
Sure.
month and all the months that January, February, March is April. It was started by Pope Gregory 13 in 1582. And frankly, it's a completely arbitrary calendar. There is no basis for it. It aligns with the sun and the but that's it. Okay. The Indian calendar, the Hindu calendar, Sanatan calendar is very detailed. Like I said, okay, now this might get a little bit, just to give you a background. Okay, my background is of stars. So all these stars are there. You can see in my background. So let us say, okay, this is a globe that we have. This is a sun, the earth. Okay, can you all see this earth? Yeah?
Yes.
All right, now this is the earth which goes around so the sun is somewhere here. The earth goes around here. And everywhere, all around, there are multiple trillions of stars. But there are some stars which are very prominent, which we can say, okay, this is a bright star. Okay. Now, what happens is because the sun, let's say the sun is here, the earth is here. Okay. You can see there is a sort of the sun is bigger, of course, and just to make it simple, behind everywhere there are stars. So some stars will fall behind the sun, right? And now because the earth goes like this, okay, the earth doesn't go like this. The earth goes like this around us, right? So there is what is called as a belt of stars that happens over here. Now this belt of stars is called as the okay. Before the belt of stars, all these stars, multiple stars, have been grouped, convenience sake, and they are called as constellations. This is called as the elliptic. The sun goes around, and whichever stars come behind the sun and the earth, okay, when it's going around, that becomes the what is called as the zodiac belt. So zodiac belt is 23.5 degrees north, 23.5 degrees south. So whatever stars come behind the sun in a particular month, so they grouped it and you have 12 constellations. So you have a zodiac belt. And therefore, when you say my sun sign is Gemini, that means when I was born, behind me, the Gemini constellation, behind the sun is the Gemini constellation. Now the earth moves. Okay, it moves like this. It takes 365 days to move around like this. So when the earth moves here, the stars have changed. So my sun sign has changed. That's what leads to what is called as Ras. In Marathi or in Hindi, we'll call it as Rashi. Okay, so there are 12 Rashis. Now, okay, I'll not go to the details of it too much, but so there are Rashis. So if I tell you tomorrow that I was born in the sun sign so and so, you can say that means the earth was here. And which are the other stars around me? They're fixed, they don't change. Simple. So if I note down, say, okay, Jupiter was here, Venus was here, and I can pinpoint to one date. Fantastic. No, but people didn't stop it at that. Now, around us, there is also a moon,
Yes.
complicates the stuff. Now, the moon also goes around us like this, and it has got a certain path which undergoes that. Now, they've divided this into 27 smaller parts. Now, because the moon moves faster, the moon moves very fast. In a day, it
Yes.
covers the
Yeah.
earth completely, right?
Hmm.
Therefore, they said, okay, for the sun, it's very easy. You have the sun will change its constellation in 1 month, but the
Hmm.
moon will change its location every day.
Hmm.
So there are 14 lunar days. So when you divide that gives you what is called as a nakshatra, and
Okay.
there are 27 nakshatras. So if the now forget the sun, the moon is here. If the moon is here, let's say the moon is here, behind the moon there are certain group of stars.
Hmm.
These stars are grouped into a nakshatra. Now
Okay.
tomorrow the moon will not be here. The moon will shift
Hmm.
because it is not exact 24 hours. The moon will shift by a certain amount, and therefore the group of stars behind it will change. And I can
Hmm.
see it from the earth, saying, okay, the stars were yesterday, the stars were something else, today's stars are something else. If I note it down over a period of time, I will get these 27 nakshatras. And that gives us, so if you follow the lunar calendar of only the moon and the uh, nakshatras, you get what is called as the Islamic calendar.
Okay.
They follow only the moon.
Hmm.
They don't take the sun into account. The Western calendar takes the sun into account. They don't regard the moon. Whereas the Hindu calendar or the Sanatan calendar is a combination of lunar and solar. So it's a luni-solar hybrid calendar.
Oh.
And that leads to various things like which is the nakshatra you are born under, which is the tithi. So there are 14 tithis. The moon takes 14 days to go around. So every day you'll have a different phase of moon. So there's a different tithi. There is Krishna Paksha, that is Shukla Paksha is ascending moon. The Krishna Paksha is the waning moon, waxing moon, waning moon. Then there is Hapatithi, which is called Karna. There is Pal, Ghatika, Prahar, Murta. And that leads us to the luni-solar, which is a hybrid calendar, which is very meticulous, very accurate. You can make astronomical observations dating back as far as 35,000 years ago. And
Okay.
Rupa Bhatti is the person who has done all that. Now, to do all the entire Hindu Panchang, all of us, I'm sure, know of something called as a Hindu Panchang. We might not know, understand it, but there is a very detailed, most of us would have got either married or some ceremony done saying Tithi ye hai, Nakshatra ye hai. We don't understand what all this is. Without that, you cannot make a Panchanga.
Okay.
In the Panchanga, you have details, things. You need spherical trigonometry to develop Panchanga. You need, in order to predict the eclipses, to calculate planetary positions, you need to have a complete understanding of what is called as arc science, laws of science, cosines, cotangents, right angle, spherical triangle. Without that, you cannot do a Panchanga. Ramayana mentions all this.
Oh.
That cannot be just a fluke, right? So I'll not go into the details of it. Maybe, okay, so it's complex. I cannot understand right now because we're going to go down to dating of the Ramayana. How? So we have to have good knowledge of all the stars, the systems, of the nakshatras, of the eclipses, everything to even come to an understanding where are we today. And if this is recorded 14,000 years ago, it cannot change. As simple as that. If I decode that, hey, you got the answer there in front of us. Now comes to even more interesting things. How did the month shift from conventional March, end March, April we have? How come it came in November? ऐसे कैसे shift हो गया? Now, okay, we've seen the Earth has got basically four motions. Okay,
Yes.
we know that there's night and day. This, when it goes around itself, it causes night and day. Very simple. When it goes, now it is not like this, it is tilted. And this tilt, which is 23.5 degrees, causes the seasons. So when you say, if the sun is this, if it is like this, okay, this is the thing, we'll say, okay, northern part has got winter, southern part has got summer. And when the earth goes around like this, when it comes to this side, we'll say, now this is summer over here and is winter here. Simple. These two, we are very easily, we are familiar with things. There are two more which you and me probably never thought of, never heard of. Nobody taught us this. But Ramayana knows about it. Mahabharata knows about it. The West discovered this only 140 years ago. And that, the first one that they discovered is called as the precession. All of us would have realized, somebody has told us that the earth doesn't go, it wobbles. That means the earth doesn't go, it doesn't go like this. When it goes, there's a wobble in the earth. Can you see this wobble on the screen? So it is not just going around like this, like this, like this. It is going around in a wobble. Right? Now this wobble that is there, okay, the earth goes around like this. But to complete one wobble, one round, it takes 26,000 years. That should be an aha moment. What does that mean in respect to Ramayana or Mahabharata? Now, when you have this, now imagine this is the North Pole, over here is the South Pole, right? Today, in today's time, there is something called as a North Star. All of us know the North Pole, right? North Pole is here, and a North Star, whichever star goes, when you draw this line here, whichever bright star comes on top here is called as the North Star, which we know of today. We can see it. But there is no southern star because there is no star in the southern pole. When you extend this axis down below, there is no star. So there is no southern star today. But Ramayana mentions a North Star and a South Star and a South Pole star. And Ramayana doesn't mention today's North Star. It mentions a star by the name of Abhijit or Vega. English, it's called Vega. In Hindu, this thing it is called, in Hindi or Indian context, it's called as Abhijit. That means Why? Because 14,000 years ago, the earth was like this.
Hmm.
That means logically, this is a North Star. If the earth is like this, the North Star has changed. Today, you can see Abhijit, which is nowhere close to because the earth has changed. And
Hmm.
this is called as precession.
Okay.
It's a very well known fact called precession.
Hmm.
Now, without understanding this, now,
Hmm.
because there is, I'll come to that a little later. Lakshman is the de facto astronomer of Ramayana.
Hmm.
Mentions at one point saying the North Star of that time, which is Abhijit, is so and so. The sun is in so and so nakshatra, in Punarvasu nakshatra. The current situation is it is cold. Today, there is no Abhijit as a North Star.
Hmm.
That should get us thinking here. Either Lakshman is lying,
Hmm.
or he's faking it,
Hmm.
or if he's telling the truth, could this have existed? And when you start putting it into the astronomical calculations in the latest softwares that are there, you will get a date called of when Lakshman was in Panchavati. Because this observation was done by Lakshman in Panchavati. And
Hmm.
like that, there are 600 such sloks, 525 sloks in the Ramayana, or more, I
Hmm.
think there. Now, when you start, it's like a giant jigsaw puzzle.
Hmm.
Okay. So, and there's one more thing which I must tell you. There is, so these are the three ones. We said there is the earth revolves around itself, so that creates the day and night. It has a tilt that creates the seasons. It goes around in a wobble that creates the precession, and therefore the various position of the stars will change, but it takes 26,000 years. At the same time, the earth doesn't just go around like this. This is a wobble I'm saying. It goes like this.
Hmm.
That means it's nodding. Slow nod is
Oh.
there.
Hmm.
This is called as axial nutation.
Hmm.
Now, axial nutation takes 18 years, 18.2 years.
Hmm.
If you have to predict an eclipse, in next year on 23rd of March, there's going to be a solar eclipse. You must be able to calculate the axial nutation of the earth. Without that, you cannot predict it.
Hmm.
Ramayana predicts it. Mahabharata predicts it. In
Hmm.
next year, so and so, there's going to be a solar eclipse and so and so. How do they know? Without axial notation, you cannot. So, is there a hardcore book which says, okay, this is axial notation? No, there are references. But now we
Hmm.
cannot say this is all bogus. You can't say that. Hey, there are so many. One, I can understand. It's pretty fake, a fluke. Two, coincidence. Three, still coincidence. Five, more than 500 references when they start matching.
Hmm.
That cannot be a coincidence.
Hmm.
There has to be something deeper, and there are many things that go in. So this is one of the reasons why we come to this. How are we able to date Ramayana so accurately? Yeah,
Hmm.
please.
So you've explained, I mean, this turned out to be so much science that we had not thought about it. My mind has definitely opened up to all the possibilities that we've not thought of, and we don't even give ourselves the, curiosity or the benefit of doubt for that. We have locked ourselves away in certain boxes, and we always keep these stories in those boxes. So this is incredible. We've also spoken a little bit about the Hindu Panchang, and a lot of this was based on the hybrid calendar. So uh, I think we have a hand that has been raised. Should we take questions now or at the end, whatever you are comfortable with, sir?
Okay, we just finished the. I'll come to the crucial evidence and clinching evidence, and then we take all the questions.
Sure.
Uh, do you want to ask them about whether they would like to know about the? Yeah, you can.
Yes. So
Yes.
I have a question for all our participants. I would request our team member to put a poll for it as well. That, should we have a separate session that just dedicates itself to the science behind the Hindu Panchang? And we have a few more interesting topics in there as well in the poll. Geopolitics during the Mahabharat War, leadership being more of an art than science, and epigenetics. And all of the above is, personally, I would go with all of the above, but you can all, choose what makes you the happiest, and we can definitely plan accordingly. So I'm requesting, and also I'm very glad at the amount of participation that is happening in the chats as well. So this really encourages us to keep going more. Please definitely let us know. I'm seeing a few more participants that are now answering. So I'll give you a moment. Please answer the poll. We definitely have interest in the science behind the Hindu Panchang. Amazing, amazing. A lot of you are going with all of the above. Okay, epigenetics. Great, great choice. Do we have takers for geopolitics during the Mahabharat war as well?
I think the all of the above probably include that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm on board with everybody who's in the all of the above category.
Great.
Hmm.
Yes, so I think
Great.
99%, 80% have said all the above. Great, wonderful.
Hmm.
All right, so let's proceed ahead now. Yes, so
So,
go ahead.
sir, we spoke about the celestial evidence, and you just happened to mention something about a clinching piece of evidence. So, we would all like to know what that is.
Okay, sure. So now, before we go to the clinching, like I said, there's 600 such references, but we'll just take four for our understanding right now. Four crucial evidences and one clinching evidences.
Hmm.
Before that, there is something called as the seasons. Okay,
Hmm.
we generally have been brought up with saying there are four seasons: winter, summer, autumn, spring, and monsoon, or monsoon and summer and winter. But in the Hindu Panchang or Hindu our tradition, we have six
Hmm.
seasons.
Hmm.
Okay, there's six seasons, and these are the Grishma Rutu. Okay, Grishma is summer, then there is Varsha, that is monsoon, then there
Hmm.
is Sharad, which is the
Hmm.
autumn, that is the October heat and the post monsoon period. Then there is Hemanta Rutu, which is late autumn, early winter. So there's a chill in the air, but not yet cold enough to be called a winter. And it's the best flowering season there is. So you could typically say November, December. And then you
Okay.
have the cold season, the Shishir, winter. So generally, January, February is the coldest of the seasons, and then goes into Vasanta Ritu, which is post winter but before summer. So today, when we talk of Ram Navami,
Hmm.
today it comes in March. That is in the which Ritu will that come to? That will be the Sharad Ritu, Vasant
Hmm.
Ritu. Sorry,
Santar. Yeah.
Vasant Ritu.
Hmm.
But Ramayana does not say it comes in the Vasant Ritu. Okay, and I said, okay, now what is that?
Hmm.
Now, what actually happened? Just imagine now, okay? If the earth was here, and as a result of that, this we said this tilt causes the seasons.
Hmm.
And because of this tilt, you have six, when the earth goes around, you get six seasons. Right from Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemant, Shishir, and Vasanta. So if the earth is now here, okay, the
Hmm.
season has changed.
Yes.
If the earth is here, the season has changed.
Hmm.
But now, because of the precession of the earth, if the earth is like this, okay, I don't know if you can see it. Okay,
Yes, sir, we can see it now.
precession after 13,000 years, the season has changed
Right.
completely, right?
Hmm.
Therefore, what happens is when now the Gregorian calendar, which is
Hmm.
January, February, March, does not take this into account anywhere.
Hmm.
So when they say that, and when we say today, the Rutu that is Ram Navami comes in the month of Chaitra, but because of this,
Hmm.
Chaitra came in the month of November 12,000 at 12,000 14,000 years ago.
Correct.
Now all this is mentioned in Ramayana. Ramayana does not say it is hot. In April it is hot.
Hmm.
So Ramayana should have mentioned that okay, there is a coronation of Ram that is taking place and it's very hot in Ayodhya in April will get very hot. It's almost on the onset of summer.
Hmm.
It says no. It gives us a beautiful rendition on the shloka saying the beautiful weather, the lovely flowers are blooming, and it is the season is pre-winter.
Hmm.
That means not yet winter has not set in,
Right.
but that means Chaitra 14,000 years ago coincided with the month of November
Hmm.
because of the precession of the earth.
Right.
And therefore, we'll come to that evidence a little later. I'll show that to you. Let me see if I can pull it up. So, because that means for every month, for a month of shift of season to take place, For every month of the season, that means Chaitra should be 1 month, it takes 2000 years. So every
Okay.
2000 years, the month will change. So
Hmm.
from April, it will come to March, from March to February, from February to January to November.
Hmm.
But it because of the precession of the earth, because the earth is going like this, the season will change. So it might be difficult to explain right now on a webinar basis. But yeah,
Hmm.
so the season changes, the whole thing undergoes a change of uh, every month 2000 years. Okay,
Okay.
so
Hmm.
now when in the uh, in the Balkand, let me just see if I
Hmm.
can pull it up. Okay, yeah, so we talked of the lower limit of Ramayana. You can see this.
Yes, sir. We can see your screen.
So what happens is when you have here, okay, can you see crucial evidence one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now this is the first evidence. Now in the Balkand, we said remember there are various books that are there. The first book, that is Balkand,
Hmm.
it mentions Chaitra month in Sharad.
Hmm.
Sharad means autumn season.
Right.
But today it is not autumn season. Today, when you see today, it is spring just before the onset of summer. But Ramayana mentions that it is Sharad Ritu. कुछ तो गदर है दया, and
Hmm.
that gadar is the precession of the earth. Therefore the season has shifted by almost 5 months over here, and this
Okay.
shift is because of the precession,
Hmm.
and this can only happen
Hmm.
roughly between 10,500 to 15,000 BCE, and no other time, any other time this slok will be invalid.
Hmm.
You can rightfully, you can completely say with full faith, look, any other month other than 10,500 BC to 15,000 BC, this is not possible. This is, I mean, Ramayana is bogus, fake.
Hmm.
They are saying forests are blooming with flowers. In April, flowers don't bloom. So
Hmm.
therefore, it eliminates the Grishma Rutu, Varsha Rutu. Grishma is summer, Varsha is monsoon, the Shishir just post monsoon, and Hemant Rutu. We are left with two Rutus, Vasanta and Sharad. We are left with two Rutus only, but it is possible. So therefore, this gives a time window now when Ramayana could have taken place. It is just a
Hmm.
crucial, it's just a one evidence. We still got a very broad timeline saying any other month not possible. Why? Because of precession of the earth.
Hmm.
Okay, that becomes the thing. Now the next one is in Aranya Kanda. At Panchavati, Lakshman says that okay, the sun is setting near Pushya. Remember
Okay.
again precession.
Hmm.
Okay, there's a precession of the earth that is taken place, and he
Hmm.
says uh, he also mentioned in the previous talk that so and so is Abhijit is the pole
Yes.
star.
Hmm.
The sun is setting in Pushya Nakshatra. Remember, we
Okay.
talked about constellations, and the season is Hemant, early
Hmm.
winter season. Now, this specific combination, if you
Hmm.
put in a software in the modern softwares that are there of these astronomical star softwares, you will come to
Right.
saying this is only possible that sun is behind in this constellation or nakshatra, and the
Hmm.
season is so and so, can only occur during 11,500 BCE to 17,500 BCE and no other time. The third
Hmm.
one. Okay,
Hmm.
so now we are narrowing it down. The third one is Kishkinda
Hmm.
Kand. Angad tells Hanuman that we already spent 4 months trying to searching for Sita. Seasons are changing. We
Hmm.
started in so and so season. Now there's no sign of Sita. What do we do? And he mentions there that currently it is the Ashwin month in Vasanta season.
Okay.
Now Ashwin month is again based on nakshatra, and we know there are various the Hindu months which are there.
Yes. Yes.
In spring season can only happen because of the precessional alignment during 11,800 BCE to 16,500 BCE and no other time.
Hmm.
So we are getting consistencies here. The
Hmm.
first one could be fake, तुक्का लगा दिया उसने, यार ऐसे ही लगा दिया. Second one can also be it's just a coincidence, somebody must have inserted it. The third one also gives you the same timeline. And there's one more in the Yuddha Kand, like I says, I told you about the earlier one. Brahmarshi post-star was Vega.
Yes.
Now, Vega is only possible between 10,000 to 14,000 BC. No other time because of the precession of the Earth. What does that do? It narrows down the whole time frame when Ramayana could have happened, assuming
Hmm.
those four observations are as observed and they're
Hmm.
not faked.
Hmm.
Now, how will someone be able to fake something that happened 14,000 years ago? I can understand you faking some fake stuff. Like 10 साल पहले,
Yes.
20 साल पहले हो गया था.
Hmm.
But all of them align, and like that, there are more than almost 600 observations, not one,
Hmm.
not two, not three, not five, not 10. So it cannot be a completer. Now this all is a crucial. So we got a still a broad time frame.
Hmm.
Now let's narrow it down to a final clinching evidence of Ram Janma.
Hmm.
It says Chaitra Shuddha Navami. Very specific. Even today it is the same. No
Yes.
change, right? Now it says a nakshatra, that is the moon. Where
Hmm.
was the moon? It was in Punarvasu.
Hmm.
Okay, that gives us a time frame. That is
Hmm.
only possible. So the forests are in bloom, no mention of rain, winter yet to set in. There are many other astronomical observations that happen. The sun is in the constellation of Pisces.
Hmm.
We talked of constellations. Now the sun is in Pisces. Again, everything will change because of the precession. Remember, everything will change in the because of precision. Mars is at border of Pisces and Aquarius.
Hmm.
Jupiter and Saturn is in Sagittarius.
Hmm.
Venus is in Capricorn. And like this, there are multiple references that keep coming. When you plot this into a software, the
Hmm.
modern software like Vega or Stellarium, which are the professional softwares that are there, you will get the specific date of 29th of November, 12,240 BCE, and no other date. Are there critiques for this? Yes. But it's good.
Hmm.
At least now we say, okay, is it looks like, yaar, ho sakta hai shayad. All this while, what have we been taught? ये सब बोगस है, हिस्ट्री है, माइथोलॉजी है, किसी ने कहानी लिख दी है, तुम ऐसे ही बिलीव कर रहे हो. बट हे, now at least we can start digging further or finding out more. And there are many more instances. We don't have time to go into it right now. There
Hmm.
are paleontological references. There is glacial maxima, glacial minima. One question that comes up: what about the ice age? Hey, India had no ice age.
Hmm.
Ice age was only in the European continent, Northern America. India had no ice age. There was no glaciers in India, in the peninsular India.
Hmm.
There's a good climate, in fact, at that time.
Hmm.
So, just to come to a conclusion, I would say, firstly, we must acknowledge that it is not just a mythology, a
Hmm.
myth or a poem. At least let's have a question mark on it. नहीं है यार, कुछ तो गदर है इसमें.
Hmm.
There are enough multidisciplinary data which says that this is history. Yes, we don't have a body yet, but hey, when Jesus का body नहीं है, किसी
Hmm.
का भी body नहीं है. जीसस का कपड़े है क्या? नहीं है. उसका कोई शस्त्र अस्त्र है क्या? नहीं है. किसी के भी नहीं है. लाइक आई सेड, पानीपत के नहीं है, तो कहाँ
Hmm.
14,000 साल पहले जाओगे आप? This challenges the Western narrative that gets thrust onto us. That is the first thing that we must do. Then we should be able to stand up and say, no, these are do prove me wrong.
Hmm.
They have no proof for anything. They have no proof for the Greek histories. Nothing. Okay. So that Valmiki Ramayana, because of the astronomical, which cannot be denied, got written somewhere around 12,020, and we must take therefore pride in
Hmm.
our history. All these research, there's of course lots and lots of more research needs to be done. Another
Hmm.
question that could have come is, why doesn't ASI
Hmm.
come into this?
Right.
Very interesting. Why the Archaeological Survey of India does not weigh in on this anywhere about this history? Because that is not their mandate.
Hmm.
It is not their job to find out your history. Their job is to look after your museums, to do some digging, to date it, to find out when it could have happened, whatever they found. But
Hmm.
did this belong to Ram? Did this? So when even the issue about the Ayodhya excavations came, they very clearly said, we don't know if it is Ram.
Hmm.
All we can tell you is whether a temple existed there or not. किसका टेम्पल था, कब का टेम्पल था, we can tell you that much. But was this Ram's temple? Was this Ram Janmabhoomi? We are not capable of doing that.
Hmm.
For that, you need multidisciplinary research, which needs to come together to really. But at least now we should take pride in, okay, as the greatest civilization on Mother Earth, no one to beat us, and we are
Hmm.
standing tall. Right now, let's go to. We have quick 5 minutes of Q&A if there's any questions which are there.
Fantastic.
I
So
think
I
the
think we
chat
have.
box is full. You can read out some of them, and if not answered so far, I'll do that.
Sir, we also have Mr. Surinder Gupta who has raised his hand. Mr. Gupta, would you like to speak? Because we have allowed you to speak, so you can unmute yourself and also speak. Okay. So in the meanwhile,
And,
yeah.
and really would like to know more about this and attend your session on this. And I would like to, this thing which you have shared, just for my memory, can you share this PPT or this slideshow?
Yeah,
And
sure. We
I'll
can.
talk to you personally also.
It will be a pleasure, of course. If anybody
Um,
would like to know more about this, if you want a PPT also, we can share it to you. Not an issue at all.
and it is really enlightening what you talk about so deep. And really, it's fantastic. I salute to you.
Thank you.
I
Like I said
definitely
again,
connect with you. So
I'm
would
not the
like to
original
connect.
researcher. I just that I like to read so much, so it just got my attention. So thank you very
It
much.
was
Thank you.
just a few moments, a few days back. I intend to read through the Ramayana and all those things. It came to mind, and that time you stuck that you give me the message, and I tune into this. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta. We had one question from Mr. Shrikala, and we also have a hand raised. So, what would you like me to go for first?
You can take one by one.
Okay, sure. So the question has been here for some time, so I'll just finish off with the question. And Mr. Viraj Mangal Srinivasan, I'll reach out to you in a moment. So, one question: Ramayana is dated around 12,240. Okay, Mahabharat is dated around 3,000 to 4,000 BCE, but Ramayana is stated as part of Mahabharat. So, how come that is possible?
Okay, so there are references to Ramayana that is there because it's with a lineage continuously, and there are many cross references given. But Ramayana does not mention Mahabharata.
Hmm.
That means Mahabharata happened after Ramayana.
Hmm.
They had a collective memory in Mahabharata of Ramayana. Ki Ramayana, something like that happened, and there are many even the what do you call it, the kings, the
Hmm.
descendants of Ram and those kings at that time participated in some of them participated in Mahabharata. So
Hmm.
all that is there because obviously Ramayana happened much, and it is just to correct again, Mahabharata is not 3000 to 4000 BC. Specific date again, Dr. Nilesh Oak is to be credited with this. He dates it as 5561 BCE.
Okay.
And just like in what I had shown, everything has got dates into it. Even
Hmm.
for Mahabharat, there are amazing dating that he's done. And he
Hmm.
says no other date other than 5561 BC. That means 7,500 years ago, Mahabharat happened.
Hmm.
14,000 years ago, Ramayana happened.
Hmm.
21,000 years ago, Rig Veda possibly was done.
Okay, great.
So specific.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes. Please, Mr. Viraj Mangal, you can go ahead and ask your question as well. I think we've permitted you, everybody, to speak. So, yes, you can just unmute yourself and speak. Mm, I have asked for permission to unmute. So, if you can just unmute your mic, then you will be able to speak. Or if that's not possible, you can just put it in the chat. I'll take it up immediately. Sir, in the meanwhile, we have another question here. Could you also please elaborate regarding the position of Lanka, the bridge built to reach it, and the existing satellite imagery evidence, please? Mr.
Okay.
Nilesh
Thank
Jahagir.
you.
Hmm.
Thank you. So first is Lanka never existed where it is today.
Hmm.
Okay, first let's understand there's something called as the glacial age. Therefore, the sea levels were much different in the earlier times than what they are today. Now, in uh, 14,000 years ago, the sea level was about 50 meters below what
Hmm.
is today's sea level.
Hmm.
Straight away, when you go 50 meters below, you can imagine 50 meters is something like 200, almost about 175, 200 feet. So Lanka, what is called Sri Lanka today, is a myth, complete myth. There's nothing there which is said this is Ravan Lanka. All there are enough descriptions of Lanka which do not tally with modern Sri Lanka. It says so. There is a full chapter when in the Kishkinda Kanda where Sugriv tells Hanuman, saying, "You go south." He sends four parties. One goes to north, one to the east, one to west, one to south. Hanuman, Tara, Angad go to the south. He says, "You will go south. You will come to a place." He gives them various descriptions of places, and you will come to a place called Mahendragiri Mountains. Now, Mahendragiri is their existence in Tamil Nadu today also. He says, when you climb the mountains, you will be able to see Canopus, Agastya. Agastya was the southern pole star in those days because of precession. On North Pole, you had Abhijit, South Pole, you had Canopus, which is today, you can see Canopus from Delhi also today. From Pune, you can see Canopus. Okay, but 14,000 years ago, only when you climbed up Mahendragiri is about 1600 meters. You could not see it from sea level. You will see when you climb up, you will be able to see because it gives you a half a degree difference above the equator, southern pole star. You will see this thing, and from there, 800 yugas, not yugas. What is the name for that? Sorry, please excuse me. 800 miles.
Okay.
Okay, is Sri Lanka. He mentions that. Now, if 800 miles is Sri Lanka and it is on 0 degrees longitude, that means when you draw a line from Ujjain was 0 degrees longitude. When you, I forget the name of that particular, now it's not coming to it immediately. When you draw that down south, and on the Lanka is on equator, so it is somewhere near Mali, the Maldives.
Okay.
That is the exact location of Lanka. Today, of course, it's not there. Today, but there are lots of islands there around Maldives. When the sea level goes down 50 meters, they would be connected. In fact, 15,000 years ago, the sea level was even more, it was 120 meters down below. Then it has a rise, it comes to 50 meters. At Ramayana time, it was 50 meters below. Therefore, there is no way that the satellite image which they saw of the current Nala Setu, it's not Ram Setu, it's Nala Setu. And Nala is the one who constructed it. That cannot be the inference that we can draw is that cannot be the real Nala Setu or Ram Setu, what to call it now. So it went off somewhere in that whenever it happened. So that is the answer.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Today there's nothing. Today it's all sea.
So I think Mr. Viraj Bangal has unmuted himself so he can actually speak. And
Can you
Nilesh,
you
thanks.
can hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
we can hear you
Yeah.
clearly.
Thank you, Girish. Excellent narration, and we're very much thrilled about this whole
you.
detail. I have 2 points. One is there is a blind sannyasi who is today also alive, who produced a shloka in Supreme Court. Because of that, the Rama's birthplace was proved. Because he proved in the same way what you have explained, he proved from the Sharyu river so much distance. There is a shloka from what are the distance from Sharyu river to his birthplace. That's here the Ayodhya was exactly pinpointed. So this is one evidence which came to Supreme Court, could give a decision because of this. Second, in Sri Lanka, there is a place called Ashokavana, which is a tourist place where Sita was, captured and kept. So that Ashokavana today is a very big tourist attraction in Lanka. So how that is, these are the two things I just wanted to mention.
So first is about the blinds here. I forget his name. I also heard about this thing. Absolutely. So there are enough references to say where, like I said, in Valmiki Ramayana itself, it tells you exactly where is Lanka. Exactly where is Ayodhya, where is Chitrakoot, where is Tandigram, Ayodhya, Nandigram, Mithila, where is so everything is very precise. You can identify the mountains, you can identify the what is the type of vegetation there, what is the type of flora, fauna there, which rivers, which streams, which lakes, which everything can be identified. No problems. Till Sita's abduction. After Sita's abduction, everything becomes vague. There's no detailed description as given in those first 12 years. It becomes vague. So you cannot identify where is Kishkinda. You cannot precisely identify other than the one which are given, which I told you just now.
We in Karnataka pinpoint that Kishkinda is near Hampi. There's a place
So there are
near
multiple
Hampi.
Kishkindas. So there are multiple Like
So,
there is even near, there is close to Nasik, there is Anjaneri. That is the birthplace of Hanuman. There is also a birthplace of Hanuman near Kishkinda, which is near
near
Hampi.
Tirupati also it is there. Near Tirupati also it is
So
there.
there are multiple options possible, but till
That
the
is
first
confusing.
there is no debate on where is Ayodhya, where is Chitrakoot, where is Ahilyastan, where is Rajgir. No debate. But
Correct.
everything else you can have multiple interpretations. So same thing now coming to Sri Lanka, there is enough. In fact, there's a. I'll see if I can get that on YouTube. One of their question was asked. The same question was asked to the tourism minister of Sri Lanka. He says, "Look, our whole mainstay is tourism, and if tourist comes believing that Sita was born here, why should I say no?"
Correct.
There is no proof like this. What we just saw that, like, if the sea level was 50 meters down, right, the landmass was huge at that time. Because just imagine 50 meters down means over at least 300, 400, 500 miles, the sea had to recede. It was all landmass.
Correct.
There's no Lanka as an island at that time existing. It was a landmass.
And
so that's the thing.
So, when you go to Rameshwaram also temple, when you visit, they take you to a place, a dead-end place called Dhanushkodi, where the Rama
Yes, I've been there.
started.
Yes.
Yeah, that place is still a tourist attraction. But as you say, we don't know what was the position that time. Today, we are only interpreting that is the place. That could be a positive.
So we can at least, I would say, at least question marks are there. कि okay, but it happened. उतना हम कह सकते हैं कुछ तो हुआ. Exactly यही हुआ है क्या हुआ? It's still a lot of research needs to be done. Huge debates have to go on. I mean, at least we should be able to willing to say कि possible है, इधर है, उधर है. We can discuss, but कुछ तो था, and not mythology. It's not mythology.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So before I close the Q&A, if there are any more questions, please raise your hand or put them in the chat box. So we'll be more than happy to take them.
Vishal has raised his hand.
Okay. Mr. Vishal, please go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, sir. Vishal this side.
Hi.
Yeah. So I have two questions. I'll just keep it short. The first one is, since you mentioned about everything happening in periodic cycle, right? Like Earth's rotation around the sun, Earth's rotation on its axis. So by the same logic of it, can we also predict what's going to happen? And the second follow-up question was, since it's a story about Ramayana, everything is narrated, right? Everything is written down by Valmiki. So by the reverse engineering logic, can you also say that he decided all the dates and then he made a story?
Okay, even if it decided, or firstly, what is the first question you said? Can you predict, right?
But can we also,
Yes.
like, since everything is happening cyclically in a periodic manner format, so can we also predict how is the Earth's shape and structure going to be in coming future?
Majorly, yes. So
Okay.
you can predict where when you go, the astronomical predictions are possible. Like they're able to tell you कि in 2030 a so and so asteroid will come and cross the Earth at a distance of 1 million miles. How are they doing that? Using all these calculations and many more also, which we are not really privy to. So now it's much more complex, I'm sure, than this. So they now when you let's say you to send somebody man to moon, even a spacecraft to moon, not to moon but to Mars, or when they say we are going to send Voyager, which is the one which is just crossed over this. All these calculations would have taken place because taking into account the various speeds of Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Saturn, it had to pass closest to them at every point. So you had to, and it will meet after 20 years. Voyager was sent 20 years back, and now it will cross Pluto now. So the entire passage had to be predicted 20 years in advance. Where will Voyager be? There is no point in Pluto being here, the Sun here, and the Voyager being here. There is no use. The Voyager had to pass close to Pluto to get whatever data it wants to get, etc., etc. So yes, you can predict astronomical events. So all the eclipses, you can predict when will the solar eclipse take place, what time will it start, not just the NASA software. Your Panchanga tells you. So you don't wait for NASA to tell you, okay, tomorrow, next year, and so, where will the place be? So Panchang tells you that. And the Panchang can only tell you if it has all these calculations. If it knows what is sine, cosine, cotangent, arc sine, spherical trigonometry. Without that, the Panchang cannot tell you next year on 20th of October, you are going to have Dashara. Or you're going to have a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse on so and so date. You can't just put it. You have to know all these six to do it. And Panchang knows it. And it was known thousands of years ago. And Surya Siddhanta gives all these calculations. You would have heard, I don't have the data, the slok in front of me right now, that they have got the number of pi, what is the distance from in Hanuman Chalisa, if you decode it, there's something called as Kattapadi Sankhya, which is a coding system. If you use that, it gives you the exact distance from the earth to the sun. How many miles is this? How many million or billion miles? 26 million miles or so? Okay. It is there in the shlok. It has to be decoded. And once you put that Kattapadi Sankhya and decode it, it gives you answers to many, many things. Yeah, so I hope that answers your questions.
So that answers my question. And the first question was like how the story is made, right? Let's say how about films are made.
So did
They
Rama
put
actually? I mean,
so
he must have had phenomenal knowledge of the stars to weave a complete story around just the stars. Did it do it? But then he would have also had to travel a lot. So yeah, it does lead to okay, did you first decide? Because okay, now the stars. So when you see the stars, when you say the star nakshatra so and so, even during the Ram Ravan Yuddha, there are enough references of, and that can tell you that this is the same stars you will not see from Ayodhya. You can only see those star patterns, which if you are there near the 0 degrees equator. That tells you, okay, that means he must have traveled there, or he must have had some software there if he really did a research on that, like a Arthur Haley novel. I don't know if you read Arthur Haley novels. They are highly descriptive, highly detailed about whatever he's doing. So, I mean, he must have had a phenomenal mind to write down 600 astronomical observations in chronology. He cannot mix up the chronology also. It has to one after the other. He has to go for 14 years or whatever, 20 years, 35 years of Ram existence, whatever the number is. He has to go chronologically. After this happens, then this happens, then this happens. He cannot mix it up. It's not mixed up in Ramayana. It is chronological sequences. So either he's a phenomenal computer, supercomputer brain he had, or he simply wrote what he saw. Simply writing what he saw is probably easier than trying to make up the whole thing, especially with respect to astronomical data. See, everything else can be a fantastic story. All that can be story. But putting this specific astronomical data cannot be made up. No way.
So the reason why where I'm coming from is because of the recent story by Chaitanya Gawande, Mysteries and Heroes died around the Bani Hill, and actually post just like 2 days after the incident happening, a similar rise. Hence, it gave me a different view side where a person can also imagine a story first, and then certain things can happen in a certain format.
Yeah, it can be a novel, but in a novel you cannot, like I said, the chronology of events, timeline of the astronomical data. Everything else can be a complete fabrication, complete story. I agree with you. But this astronomical data you cannot fabricate. You cannot imagine and say, Chandra yahan par hai, nakshatra ye hai, wo hai. It is hardcore. Either you seen it and therefore wrote it down, or you had a phenomenal software like today's software, which you put in everything and say, okay, now I write down all this thing and make a story. Yes, you can. Everything else can be made up. And he would actually travel from Ayodhya to Chitrakoot, so he wrote all that Chitrakoot. वो सब ठीक है. He had a great आजकल जो vlogging करते हैं, video logs करते हैं, travel logs करते हैं, किया होगा. But no travel logger can fake or can give such accurate chronology of 600 astronomical observations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 शायद हो सकता है. 600, 500 नहीं हो सकते.
Got it, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sulekha ma'am. She's just said that a brilliant session linking science with history and a very satisfying explanation to many questions. Many thanks, Girish ji and Apurva. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
We are so glad that you've enjoyed it. Before I conclude today's session, I want to extend my thanks to Girish sir for taking the time out today to give us this master class in connecting faith, fact, and wisdom with science. So thank you so much, sir. It means a lot to us. To those who are listening to Konkar sir for the first time, he's not only a distinguished naval officer but also a mentor to thousands of individuals across corporates, academic, and personal growth journeys. He has now channeled all of that with the Commander's Leadership Gurukul. So, if you did enjoy today's talk, I'm going to request you to join our WhatsApp community because it's a very vibrant community and you'll get many more snippets of wisdom from Girish sir there. And also, today what you saw was, I think, only half of who sir is as a person and how inspiring and what a brilliant storyteller he is. We have a live half day session coming up on November 22nd. It's going to happen at the MCCI in Pune. I would love it if all of you who have enjoyed all of this could also come there, because there you're going to see a completely different Girish sir and you will begin a very beautiful inner transformation journey with sir. So we will also, I would request my team member Yash to leave a link for the, oh, he's already shared the link, I think. So if people can just take a look at it, and we would love to have you there. We can build much more on this positive energy and we can grow it much more. So please take a look. Please join us for the physical session as well and become a part of our community, because there's much more there that you're going to learn, that you're going to enjoy, and you can grow with like-minded people. For example, today I saw so many conversations happening in the chats. These can happen in person and we can all grow together. Thank you so much, Girish sir.
Thank you, Apurva, and thank you for everybody who joined in. I hope I've been able to give you something of value and something that, like Kida, there's, please do your own research. Today there is no dearth of knowledge. You have Chat GPT, you have Perplexity, you have YouTube, you have Instagram, you have so many sources. And there is, of course, those of you on Pune, there is the BORI, there is the Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute. Amazing institute. I would recommend all of you to visit there, or to Deccan College, uh, just to get a huge input from it. So thank you very much, everybody.